We're going to call this meeting to order. Roll call, it looks like everyone's here except for Ludmilla. Before we get to the adoption of the board agenda, whoever makes that motion, we want to pull 6.7 because it's not ready from a staff perspective yet. So with that, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda with that drop?
I move to adopt the agenda with that change.
With 6.7 drop, perfect. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public comment on closed session items. I do not see any members of the public, so we'll go ahead and adjourn to closed session. So let me know when the microphone's off. All right, we're about ready to start, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to our first school board meeting of the new year, January 9th meeting, and invite you all to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to do our report out from closed session. Bear with me because I want to make sure I get this correct. On item 2.1, upon motion of Board Member Hall, seconded by Board Member Franz, the board took action to deny a claim, and that vote was 4-0 with one board member absent. On item number 2.2, the board took action upon motion by Board Member Franz, second by Board Member Hall, to ratify a stipulated expulsion order, case number 6-23/24. And item 2.3, upon motion of Board Member Franz, seconded by Board Member Hirota, the board took action to deny a request for a 6-month unpaid leave of absence. And as the others, that vote was 4-0 with one member absent. Now, there was one item we heard in closed session, which we must take a vote on in open session. So I'll ask if we have a motion on pupil personnel item, case number 5-23/24.
I will make a motion for the stipulation.
No, it's just a motion to approve.
Motion to approve,
No
okay.
details.
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
I'm going to give that to Julie. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, so that passes 4-0 with one member absent. I think, did I get those all correct? Okay. We are done with our closed session report. Announcement of meeting protocols. We always enjoy having members of the public come to address us. You'll have a couple different opportunities to address us. If there's an item on the agenda that you would like to speak to, if you fill out one of these cards and indicate the item number, I'll be sure to call you up for your comments at the appropriate time on the agenda. If there's something you'd like to address us with that is not on the agenda, we do have an open forum for public comment, and you can address us on any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. If we have less than 10 members of the public that would like to speak on any of the items, you'll be afforded 3 minutes to address the board. If we have 10 or more, that time will be 90 seconds or a minute and a half. While we encourage the public participation during the meeting, we do request civility in the use of courteous language. The board does not condone the use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, or any other inappropriate behavior, including personal attacks or threats directed towards any meeting participant and/or district employee. If you do have a complaint about a district employee or any one or more than one members of the district, those complaints should be made to that employee's immediate supervisor or the school site principal as outlined in our board policies and administrative regulations. With that, we are going to move on to our first agenda item, which is recognition of our outgoing board member. As many of you know, our wonderful board member, Julie, has decided to leave us, and this will be her last meeting. So we do have flowers for you. We have a nice little, I don't know if you call it a plaque.
Like a statue.
Yeah.
Oh, statue.
Statue. It's of me. It's a statue of me. No, so it kind of looks unfinished, but it didn't arrive in time, but we will personally deliver that to you. I wanted to start off our comments by thanking you for your service. I mentioned briefly last month when we had our meeting, I'm here in large part on this board because of you. When I moved here from San Jose, One of the biggest influences on our decision to move here were the schools, both the elementary schools and the high schools that we knew our kids would be going to. Not long after moving here, I know you ran for the board, and Andrew and others ran for the board. And it was really heartwarming to see not just that community members were getting engaged, but the type of community members that were getting engaged in our schools. And it made it very comfortable for us as a new family in the area, knowing that we had people that cared so much about our schools and our students leading the efforts here. And I know you've had some rocky times here. You've had some great times, and you've had some really challenging times. And most of them before I got here. But I was.
So you think.
I was in my, well, I'll let you talk about those later. But I know that I, along with many other parents and family members of our students, were thankful for the struggles that you went through to make sure that our district maintained what we had and continued to provide excellent education for our kids. And I think it's important to note that your contributions really led to our wellness centers and the implementation of our wellness centers that we have on now all of our campuses. And I know that that wouldn't have happened without you on the board. So I want to thank you personally for the impact you've had on our family, and then setting the example that made me want to join this board. So thank you very much. You're going to be missed.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone else like to add on?
All right, I'm gonna really try
cry.
not to cry, and I'm gonna try to be brief. As brief as I possibly know how to be. But I'm just gonna tell you one really tiny story, which is that I was at Roseville High maybe a month or two ago, not as a board member. I was there for like a parent event, and the kids had no idea I was a board member. It was just parents. And we all got mixed around with a parent and a child in the class. And it was a prompt from the teacher for each student to share what their favorite memory was of high school so far. And she was a senior, and she kind of paused for a second. Ooh, my favorite memory. I know. This is easy. She's like, it was the day that we came back to in-person school. And okay, I'm not gonna cry. And that was you and that board, and we weren't even here yet. And again, to Pete's point, you guys are what made us all want to run. And so it just made me think of you. And anytime I run into a parent who tells me how happy they are with their kids at John Adams, I think of you, because I know that was hard too. So you and your work and your efforts have left a legacy for so many students in our district, and you'll be greatly missed. That's all. Done talking. No, but seriously, it was really sweet, and I wanted to hug this girl, but she didn't even know who I am. And I was like, that's so great. I'm so happy that you loved getting back to school, but. Yeah, just what you all did is really impactful. So you'll be missed.
I just have nothing but warm wishes to give you, and I also appreciate everything you've done for our community and the schools. And as a parent, working with you and talking to you on the phone, and then ultimately feeling that this was a board that I would want to try to join. Part of that was you also, and just everything that you've all accomplished. So I wish you were staying for that final year, but I understand. It's time to go on, right? So thank you.
All right. Really the two things that, I can go on and on, but the two things from your tenure as a board member, the first one was your advocacy and support of Antelope High School and us principal there. That always stood out to me. I still remember many years ago, you might have been dragging Howard out to some of the events, but it was at a football game. And we spent a lot of time talking about the band and then talking about engineering. And those were things that really stood out to me that you advocated for, you continue to advocate for. those programs in our district. And that always just stood out to me. You came to Antelope, you advocated for Antelope, and again, that was one of those in the early years that really just stood out to me, and I really appreciated. And then obviously the most newest one is the fact that you've given me this opportunity to sit up here as superintendent. I value that trust, and I can just hope to, even when you're watching us at home, hopefully watching us at home, continue to live up to your expectations of what we should be doing for kids. And that will always stick around with me, so I appreciate that. And I just wish you the best. This is a lot of work to do this, and you put a lot of time into doing it, and you advocated for kids, and that will always stand out to me, so thank you.
But you're here trying to get the work done. So the district staff has been beautiful to work with and learn from. Joe, you're the smartest guy ever. I think I finally know a little bit more about the finance than I did in the beginning, which is still not much, but thank you for that. Brad, excellent job in bringing us from where we were. It's been a long road, and you've done a remarkable job. John, so lucky to have you here, and I'm glad you're here, and I think you're going to be this legacy for Roseville Joint. And then, of course, the two of you, thank you so much, and you're new, and you get to just motivate us and bring us all forward. So I'm so happy that we have you alongside as part of the good work that's being done. It's been a long 7 years. It's been long and it's short, and it started out, I'll try to be real quick, but it started out as a conversation on the way home from a Roseville City School District Foundation board retreat. And a friend of mine said in the car, she says, you need to run for the high school board. We need good people on the board. And so here I am 7 years later doing that work. And, I did it because I believe in education. I believe in this community. I have two wonderful children that came out of this school district. And it's been a privilege to be here. It's been a privilege to have my kids in this district and work alongside all of you. It was thrilling to run for school board and get a seat. Being at the same time that Measure D came about, it was really exciting because we got to really see what was going to happen, and we got that school built, all because of the work that had been done years before I'd even got here. But to be a part of that was magnificent, and all the improvements that went alongside of it. Witnessing all of that coming about, seeing the kids on campus, and I'm lucky to be one of the trustees that got to be a part of that remarkable campus, because there's nothing like it. When I reflect on my time at the board, it was to see my children through high school, to give them their diplomas. Those are two moments I will never forget. But also take that higher calling that I had, and I think I was in the place I needed to be, and that was getting kids back into school. So if I served any purpose, I think it was that one. So my gratitude extends to every one of you for being alongside, teaching me, helping me learn about myself. And then, of course, watching my children go through this. These are lessons and memories I'm never going to forget. And again, I say again, it's just a privilege. And my heart will forever hold a place of thankfulness for every bit of this. I want to acknowledge the support of Howard, my husband, my family and friends. It's paramount. They've been my pillars. He's listened to so many things. He's gotten angry with me as well, and guiding me through the difficulties and helping me think about things and how to say things nicer So thank you for that. He held down the fort with the kids at home, took charge of dinner when I had to be at school board meetings, and some of those school board meetings were as late as midnight. So you all were there. So thank you so much for that, honey. I love you. And then to everybody here, and everybody watching, whoever that might be, and all of the families that are so invested in making sure that we do really good work here. I want to thank everyone and thank everybody for choosing and dedicating to their lives to service and the service for kids, because I think it's the best thing we could possibly do. So it's been a privilege. Glad to sit here. I look forward to seeing the work that gets done, and I am graciously giving up the seat for someone who will continue on with the work. So thank you all.
Thank you, Julie. Let's all give her a round of applause. And I do promise you a personal delivery of
Of that
your
statue?
your statue. I do want to add on to the thanks for Howard. Howard, we know that you've had to share a lot of your evenings with the community by allowing your wife to have these activities out here and be busy and all this school stuff when she could have been home hanging out with you, which I think she probably would have preferred to do. I know as being the spouse of a school board member, there's lots of nights at home without them because they're out doing the things that they need to do. So thank you for you and your family's sacrifice in loaning Julie to us for these years that she's been here. So thank you very much. All right, I would like to ask Julie for the last time to read our board objectives for
I
us.
will do that. I'm going to read them from here because I can't
You
read
can
the
do it
print.
wherever you'd like to read them
All
from.
right. Our board objectives: prepare all students for life, college, and career through high-quality academic opportunities, supporting students' physical, mental, and emotional health. Work in partnership with families and the community. The school is a welcoming, safe environment that serves as the center of student learning, activities, athletics, and performing arts. Promote a sense of community in the school and in the surrounding area. And then utilize effective governance and business practices by remaining open, transparent, and accountable to the community. Serve as an employer of choice with the highest quality teachers and staff.
Thank you, Julie. And then I think I'd like to do the introductions of our student board members out of order so that everybody who's wondering who they are can hear about our wonderful new student board members. So I'd like to invite up, who's our principals who are going to do this?
Start with Roseville.
All right, Roseville, come on up.
It is my pleasure to introduce Roseville High School Student Board Representative for this year, Ms. Carson Casey. Carson is our current ASB president and has served for student government at Roseville High School for all 4 years of high school. She has received her seal of biliteracy in French already. She's already received that. She played golf her freshman year, was golf captain sophomore and junior year. She's been a part of our diversity club, our key club, and is the president of our club FAVE, which is Fight Against Vaping, where she works with the school to support anti-vaping efforts and educates her peers on the negative impacts of vaping. Carson participates. I asked her, I was like, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? And she's like, I really enjoy community service. But she really does. So over the summer, Carson went to a voluntary week-long community service camp in Idaho where she fixed houses and painted and supported the community there. She's really an incredible human. Carson loves to read, swim, and travel, especially road trips with her sister. She is the 4th sibling and the last one to attend Roseville. Her 3 older sisters all graduated as Tigers. Carson has a positive energy, you will notice, that lights up a room, motivates and inspires others. She's organized, kind, intelligent, a hard worker, passionate. She strives to be the best she can be. So we are very, very honored and excited to have her representing Roseville.
And she works at my favorite Starbucks. So
I am proud to introduce our Roseville Pathways representative for the board, Sarah Richards. Sarah is currently a junior at Roseville Pathways. She technically is also a sophomore at Sierra College. She's passed 10 college classes, or I think 31 units. She's currently in 4 college classes: calculus, history 17B, ballroom dance is one of her pathways, and mechatronics. Her goals and aspirations is to sort of go to college and double major in mechanical engineering, and then also aerospace engineering to focus on robotics for space. For her hobbies, she has been on the catcher for the JV softball team for the Wood Creek High School. And her hobbies are also, she loves to crochet. So I'm just very proud. The staff is actually just absolutely beloved to have you as a representative for this board. So congratulations.
Well, welcome to both of you. I'm going to apologize in advance because sometimes I forget to call on you when I'm supposed to. So you can butt in anytime I forget to call on you. You don't have to be shy about that. We're going to come back to you in a minute when we get to the student board reports. We are going to now do our board reports. I actually have nothing to report because I spent my time doing the holidays with my family and having 4 of my 5 kids home. So with that, I'm just going to pass it on and we'll go down the road.
I also have nothing to report, but I do welcome Carson and Sarah.
I have also been in vacation mode. Have nothing to report. I have a school visit next week, so I will be at Oakmont next Wednesday. And yeah, welcome to our student board members. Based on your resumes, I don't know how you have time for more things, but I'm glad that you're here.
Have anything else you'd like to add under board reports?
I think I dropped the mic. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, we'll now go to John and any other cabinet members.
All right, again, welcome to Carson and Sarah. Hopefully we got mom's side of the Casey house, not dad's. We're in good hands. But again, welcome, and we look forward to your participation this semester. Welcome back to all of our staff, teachers, principals. I know you guys are full go, full steam ahead. The Thursday thing really felt short. I don't know, psychologically it felt like a short break. But welcome back to everybody. I know everybody's off to a fast and furious start. And to our officer, Mr. Derek back there, happy National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. To RPD, Placer County, and Sac County Sheriffs. During the break, I had a chance to run into one of my old SROs from the early days, and it was nice to see him. And so again, to all of those folks who support our schools and our students and our community, today's your day of appreciation, so thank you.
Just welcome back and Happy New Year to our principals. Welcome Carson and Sarah. And thank you, Julie. I'm really going to miss working with you. And I just think we are a better district because of the 7 years of service that you gave us through some really difficult times. So thank you.
2.
Happy New Year to everyone and to our families watching. And welcome Sarah and Carson. Really looking forward to your voices and your contributions. And Julie, thank you so much for your service. I hope to stay in touch with you.
Joe.
Similar to everybody else, I wanted to welcome Carson and Sarah. It was nice to get to chat with you briefly, and I'm the budget guy, so you get to look forward to my riveting presentations about the budget. So feel free to ask lots of questions, and yeah. And real quick to Julie, I just also wanted to just thank you for your mentorship and leadership, and one thing that's stuck, your friendship over the years. I've enjoyed getting to know you. I remember, and I don't know when it was, but hanging out with you and Howard at, I think it was Roseville Splash, just getting to know each other over the years. And it's been great getting to know you. I'm really going to miss seeing you there, seeing you here as frequently. Hopefully continue to see you out in the community, because I know you've been such a great advocate in the community, whether it's through the Rotary or through the schools and everything. You and Howard have just been pillars in Roseville. And so just look forward to continuing to see you, and I know you're continuing to do great work, and I know you've done such great work at our district, and I'm so just appreciative of your leadership and your service, so thank you again.
All right. By the way, I don't know if you guys read about the student board members in San Diego, was it San Diego, John? San Diego City. San Diego City Unified, their board, we're not going to do this, by the way, but, because Joe would never let us. In San Diego Unified, if you're a student board member, they pay you $1,700 a month to be a student board member because they pay their board that too. And I just want to note, we don't get paid that. So if so I just want to let you know, when you read that in the paper, temper your expectations because it ain't going to happen. So, yes, get your parents to move and then apply down there. All right, we're gonna get moving on our agenda. Committee reports. Our committees did not meet because of the holidays, so we have no committee reports. Now we come back to our student board members. Each month you have an opportunity to give a report, just like you saw us give a report. And I'm gonna hand it off to, we'll start with Carson this month and then let you go first next month.
All right. Is this okay?
Yep,
I've
you're
never
on.
used one of these things. All right. Okay. First off, I just wanted to say thank you guys for having us here. It's a really good opportunity. I know it's volunteer, but I'm still very happy to have this opportunity to be here with you guys discussing this stuff. I know you guys do a lot, and it's so cool that you were part of coming back to school because, again, that was one of my favorite memories. I know coming back to school was a really, really big deal, and it's very cool to meet someone that was a part of that. And I know I don't know you very well, but I am going to miss you going in because obviously you're a very cool person if you're part of getting back to school. But yeah, I'm excited to be here with all of you guys and just discussing all these topics. So I wanted to kind of give you guys an overview of what Roseville has been doing. We have implemented a lot of stuff, so I just wanted to give you guys just like what we've been doing. So this first term that just ended, we implemented this new event, which was Miss Saren's doing. We had this Veterans Recognition Day, and it was super cool. We had all the local veterans got an invite to come to our school and have breakfast, and we had the dancers come out and perform a dance, and Miss Saren spoke to them, and we all had handwritten letters from each student to them. And it was just a super cool event, and that's something we've never done, and it was just like a way of that Roseville brought even more of the community in together, which I thought was really cool. And another thing, this is a new event, was Night on the Pot. We've never done a casual dance before, and so this was the first year doing it. And I thought it went really well. It was just a casual dance, which was outside on our football field, and we had food trucks and music, and it was a really big hit. It was super fun. And we also had our homecoming parade, which is something Roseville's done for a really long time. And it's just another thing that's like involved the community because anyone in the neighborhood could come and watch. We have grandparents, parents, kids, and it's just all the classes make parades and we all go around, and it's a really cool event. And another thing, our girls tennis team made it to finals and our girls volleyball team made it to finals, but the girls tennis team actually won. So that was really cool for us. And some of our upcoming events are Kasaba, which is our winter dance. It's actually named Kasaba after a fruit, which is kind of weird. I guess it looks like a basketball. I've heard many stories about this Kasaba. But then we also have the end of the year school dance, which is a new dance that we've never done. It's again sort of like Night on the Pod, just for like a sending away dance, I guess. Yeah, they're celebrating us leaving, I don't know. But we also have the Spring Carnival, which is just a carnival we do. And I actually did that for dance as an extra event, and we've implemented it as a real event, which is sort of cool. And also something we've implemented into our school system is AP African American Studies. I'm currently a part of the program right now. I'm in the class, and I know it's only been 2 days, but I can already tell it's going to be a great class. It's very fun, and I'm very excited for the curriculum, and I know not a lot of schools have had that AP class, so I'm very excited to just like learn more about it, and I'm hoping that more schools do that course too. But yeah, that's the overall update for Roseville. Sorry, I talk a lot, but I'm gonna pass it off to you.
I would also like to start off by thanking everyone for allowing me to be here. This is a very incredible opportunity that not many people have to be able to serve their community and just be a part of something larger than themselves. What we've been doing in the past is we've had our first Spirit Week of the year. As many of you know, Roseville Pathways is a newer program, so this is only our second year of having a student government program at this school. And so we started off small last year and are going to attempt to enlarge our programs as we go along. So along with our Spirit Week, we were able to do some lunchtime activities, and we were able to try something new, which we did Winter Mondays, which was each Monday we are able to come together all together at one campus and be able to have dress-up days and just allows school spirit to be like raised a bit. And then coming up, we have a few more Spirit Weeks that we are in the early stages of planning. And then we also have our Spring Dance, which is our largest event of the year, which we typically do Dress to Impress, and it's an off-campus dance.
Very good. Well, thank you both for getting off with great reports, and we'll look forward to having your input on all of our items as we go forward. Our next report, Natalie, RSEA report.
I actually don't have a report. I wanted to take this up. I know so hold on. But I do want to say, Julie, thank you so much for your service. I know I sat through many hours of board meeting during COVID time, and it became a tumultuous time through different things. We all had different opinions. And I remember after those all kind of settled down, we met and we had coffee. And it was the first time I actually had to sit down. And I wasn't president yet, and I was coming into as I was learning new faces. I wanted to say, and we had a really wonderful conversation, because I think you've learned, and I've learned too, is that having this connection and this working relationship is we want to make sure that we didn't fracture that. And that really spoke volumes about who you are and your integrity, and I really appreciate your time and service that you've provided for us. And even though if we didn't always agree, but I will say we're very proud of the community and the schools that we are part of, and I want to say thank you for your time. Cheers.
Thank you, Natalie. Our next item is public comment. I have one card, so if anyone else would like to speak, let me know. Our one and only is Tiffany Coleman. Come on up. Make sure you push the button with the little person on it. There you go.
Okay, so I'm here tonight. I'm Tiffany Coleman. You may or may not recognize me. It's fine if you don't. You've had a lot of parents speak with you. Thank you, Julie, for your service. I am really impressed with all that I've heard from all these members of our community, and I also appreciate it and what you've done. My husband and I have 5 children, and we've had 4 that have graduated from Wood Creek High School, and we have a daughter at Cooley Middle School right now. So we have been personally affected from the excellent district that we have lived in, and we really appreciate it. So I'm just here tonight actually because of Julie as well. I turned my application in earlier today to be a provisional appointee to the board. So for me, it's helpful to see a face and hear a voice and not just see a name on a piece of paper. So I just wanted to come tonight and introduce myself in person, and for you who will be interviewing me, and for others who are interested in who will be on the board. I just wanted to introduce myself. My husband and I have lived in Roseville for 25 years. We've raised our 5 children here. 4 have gone on and are in varying states of professions and continuing schooling. We have 1 daughter still at home, as I said, and we own a business here in Roseville and have owned Coleman Engineering since 2010. I've been really enjoyed being engaged with schools over the years with my kids. Being part of this community has meant a lot to me, and I'm very, very grateful for it. So, and this seems like a really fun group. When I came in tonight, I mean, you feel a little, I'm like, I don't know everybody, and I've usually been to bigger board meetings that aren't this cheerful, I would say. And so to come in tonight and to see just everybody talking and smiling and laughing and being so connected, just seems like a great group to be with and work with, and a really wonderful connection. So I hope that maybe we might have a chance to meet in person. If you'd like to, I'll reach out to you before the next board meeting. I know when you do interviews. But again, just wanted to introduce myself, and thank you again, Julie, and I look forward to getting to know you better. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next item is the consent agenda, and just so that everybody's aware, in our approval of the agenda earlier at the beginning of the meeting, we did drop item 6.7, so that will not be part of the consent agenda. Do I have an motion on the consent agenda for all the other items except for 6.7?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion
Second.
from Julie and a second from Marla. We do a roll call vote on certain items, and others we just call out our ayes and nays. This is one of the roll call votes. So I'm going to start with you. Yes or no? Yes. Yes, yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Marla?
Yes.
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 All right, so that passes 4-0 with one member not in attendance. We're now going to go to our first action item, which is 8.1, which is, I don't think I gave you one of those, but, which is our board committees. And this was posted on our agenda. This one that I just handed out just has some highlights so that people could pick their own name out on it. So it's nothing different than what you have in the public packet. And I scribbled some notes to myself. So we have two official standing committees. That's the Finance and Facilities Committee and the Board Policy Review Committee. I just want to make sort of introductory comments about process and policy, because you guys know I can never not talk about that. Joe and John and I met earlier to go through our board policies on the committees, and we probably want to have a policy that establishes these committees, because it's sort of missing in our policies. So we're going to refer that out to the policy committee once we appoint it here, but we want to make sure we button that up as we go forward. For the, not just the committees themselves that are standing committees, but the purpose of the committees, because as I was talking with Joe, I sat on the Finance and Facilities Committee for a couple of years, and there's things that are on this that we never do because they've just sort of fallen off because they're no longer needed or no longer required. So I say that foundationally to say that we'll establish the committees and then we'll work to codify them and clarify them as we go forward. Well, obviously, with needing to appoint 2 new board members, we're going to revisit this soon anyway. So we'll at least, I think, and I want to hear from you, I was thinking maybe we just do the 2 committees until we get the other members appointed, and then we make sure that we agree on their purposes, and then we kind of go through everything else. Or we could put people in the positions, oh, darn it, and make changes later. It's kind of up to you. I will say at the bottom where it says the PCOE committees, I don't think we should actually be voting and appointing those because those are done outside of us. It's just sort of a listing of them. So I think as we go forward, we should just recognize that PCOE has these committees, and there are those of us that work on those committees because of their actions, but I don't think we should be taking action on it as part of the board agenda because we don't really have any authority to do so. So that's just kind of my foundational comments. I'm only going to ask the 2 of you because, no offense, but I don't think you care at this point.
I have a lot to say.
We could appoint you to a committee to make you keep coming back. So, ladies.
Oh, I was just going to ask a question.
Okay.
So for these 3, we have 3, right, that we need to fill to replace Ludmila, Julie, Ludmila? Is that what you're wanting to do for tonight?
I was thinking we just do these 2 when we, so if we go down the list, Finance and Facilities and Board Policy, those are standing committees. They're officially committees of the board. Well, we've acted as if they're official committees of the board. We do name them every year, but we'll make them a little more official. And they have specific duties. The liaisons, we have the intergovernmental liaison, which meets sort of ad hoc. In the past, it's typically been president, vice president that have sat on them, and they meet with other agencies, whether it's other school districts, but typically it's the city manager and 2 council members from Roseville is who we meet with. Student board rep liaison, we actually haven't been using that. It's sort of been delegated to the superintendent, and the superintendent's office has been making sure that the student board reps have the consistency in the information and a contact person to go to in the district office versus dealing with our sometimes longer response to them. And then the SILT, is a liaison that I think was done maybe 2 years ago. And then the athletics liaison we've had, but they haven't been meeting.
But SILT meets consistently every month. which
SILT
I go
meets,
to.
yeah,
I've
SILT
been-
meets consistently. That was just sort of the thought process. Not that we won't do these in the future, but do what we need to do, and then when we get a full body, do it. Or we can make appointments and then discuss whether we're going to change it. I'm pretty easygoing on that. Yes, your mic. If you're
I
gonna-
know, I'm trying to decide what I was going to say.
Oh.
So if our intention is to reshuffle everything once we have our new appointments, then it seems silly to appoint now. Or if the plan is we're plugging ourselves in, and then we just fill in as needed, I think we might as well just do ourselves. So,
Yeah, the only committee that has, so finance and facilities only really now deals with the audit. That's the major work, and we just did that, so we have 10 months until we have to deal with that, so there's no rush there. Board Policy Review Committee has a meeting scheduled about 3 weeks from now or so. And typically, we've tended to put the newest board member on there with an experienced board member, so there's some learning that goes along with it. And then SILT, as you say, meets on a regular basis. But the others, there's no,
I'll say, so I just want to stay on SILT, so as
Okay.
long as my name's right there, I don't care what you do. How's that?
okay.
And I am fine to be on board policy. And I can stay on it, or when we appoint the new person, if they would want to take that spot. I liked doing board policy committee, oddly enough.
Okay.
As much as I say I don't like policy, I
It was
like,
that- It was on that extra time with me.
it was that I so don't like policy that it forced me to have to learn it and see the benefit of it. So I enjoyed that because that's not my personality. I like the touchy-feely stuff. So board policy is good for me. And then if the new person wants to embrace it with that wonderful joy that I have about it, then I'd be willing to give it up, you know, whatever we want to do. But if we, I mean, it sounds like potentially we need to meet as a committee prior to a new person being here. So I'm fine to be signed up for that.
All right. So what I'm hearing, based on what I've said, I think we're going to get everything below PCOE, and we're just going to not worry about that because it's not our responsibility. I think we can, let's just put names for these committees with the understanding that we're going to have the policy committee clarify the roles and structure the policies correctly. And by that time, we'll also have new board members, and we can decide if we're going to shuffle. I think one of the things that the board policy committee might want to do is just some of the things like the intergovernmental liaison. Probably we could just say in the future, it's always the president and vice president, so we don't have to worry about making that decision, but that's something we can discuss in the future. We can delegate the superintendent to be the liaison to the student board reps, which they're already doing. We can keep Marla on SILT with no other person for right now until we figure out.
I think it's something, one of the new people would be great.
Okay, and then athletic liaison, we will just leave vacant at this point until we decide. Yeah. That is another thing, much like the student board member liaison, that's really been, it's an administrative function, so it's been handled by the administration, which I think is where it should stay, but we can have that discussion when we see that. So does that all sound good? Did you follow all that?
I did.
Okay. Do either of you have any opinion on that on your first day?
No comment. Second.
All right, so what I would like is a motion to do what I said.
I'll make a motion to do what Pete said.
Actually, the motion is what Kim has noted.
Right.
All right, so, yeah. So we have a motion and a second. Now we're going to take your official vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes, okay. I pointed at myself and then forgot to vote. Okay, so that passes 4-0 with one member not here. I don't have my regular computer, so this one keeps turning off on me. All right, that was extraordinarily painful for what it was. All right, 8.2. This is a good one. Reclassification of interim principal of Roseville High School to principal of Roseville High School. Mr. Becker.
All right, so about a month ago, I was having a meeting with Miss Saren over there, and she said, you know, I was just wondering if, when I was going to get the interim tag taken off me. And I went, you're an interim? So I totally forgot. And then I went and talked to Brad over in HR, and I said the same thing. When are we taking the interim tag off Ashley? And he goes, she's an interim? So we both totally forgot. She's done such a great job. We didn't realize we put the interim tag on her. So, you know, it's our recommendation that we remove that and officially announce her as the principal of Roseville High School. She's done a tremendous job. It's well-deserved, and I think we should acknowledge that.
I think before we take action, we should ask Ashley, would you like to keep doing this? And would you have anything you'd like to say?
I own a whole lot of orange clothes.
She even has tiger shoes. Not today, but like sneakers, right? Yeah.
All right, so seriously, though, do you have anything you want to say to us? You have an open mic.
Yes, yes.
Just remember to put, oh, the button's already on.
Yes. I would be incredibly honored. I prepared this as if you had voted yes already.
Oh, wait.
Is that bad?
Would you like us to take the vote first?
Could you take the vote first?
Just in case we change our mind. Do we have a motion? Would someone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to remove the interim tag.
All right.
Okay, is that the motion?
Yes. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right,
Okay.
we have a motion and a second. So now we're going to take a vote. What do you think as a student there? Turn it on. Oh, hang on. One of us has to turn off. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
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 Congratulations. Now.
I want to say truly, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Becker, Executive Cabinet, colleagues, students, staff, I am so thankful. I'm honored at the overwhelming support that I've already received and the warm welcome that I've already received. I am excited to continue in this role. I feel like we had an incredible first semester. I'm excited for many more semesters to come. When I was a little girl, my mom told me that I could do whatever I wanted to do. And I believed her, deep in the core, whatever I wanted to do. So to stand here in front of you as the first woman principal in Roseville High School's 112-year history, I do not take that lightly. I am excited to continue to work with our Roseville Tiger community and to ensure that our students and our staff and our community truly thrive. So thank you so much. This is an honor, and I appreciate all of you.
I thought he called me Mike, and I was like, trying to figure out how he knew my middle name. All right, so as I was saying, we have staff comments is next, but I don't believe we have any staff comments. Pending agenda items, I did want to ask my colleagues. We received 12 applications for the 2 positions that we have open. So we had initially sort of followed the board policies because we have it kind of all laid out. on how we would proceed, which was to take the applications. Under board policy, we have a committee that essentially just looks to make sure the applications are complete and that the person is eligible to sit in the seat. There's no additional vetting done at that point. However, previously, we've delegated more authority to the committees to whittle down the appointments. We didn't do that this time. So we have an option here, how we can go forward. We can schedule a special meeting to designate a committee to do more work, to look at them, and we could set criteria and have a smaller pool brought for full interviews like we did in the past. Or we could schedule a special meeting to do interviews, because interviewing 12 people is going to take a lot of time. John and I were talking about that before the meeting, and we thought it would make sense that if we did that, that we would actually schedule time certains for each person so that people didn't have to sit here and wait and wonder when their time would come up. So we would schedule them, whatever, every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever we deem to be appropriate. Or our next board meeting, we could dispense of any real business and anything that didn't have to be heard, move it off the agenda to the next meeting and dedicate that next board meeting to that. So it's kind of up to us. I'm bringing it up under pending agenda items because we have to decide if we want a special meeting or not. So I wanted to get your input because we didn't have a chance to do that given the holidays and the timing of how everything unfolded.
So when I went through my appointment.
Mike?
When I went through my own personal appointment, I think there were 11 candidates, and I don't believe you whittled anyone down at that point.
The board had given direction
For
that if
10,
there
I
were
think,
10
right?
or more, they could whittle it down, and the committee basically said, 11's close to 10, we're just gonna go ahead.
Yeah. What bothers me about this idea of whittling down is, well, I believe, is Ludmilla going to be part of that first selection?
Yes.
Okay.
So just to clarify, so everyone knows
Yeah, you
what we're
should-
talking about, process-wise, Julie cannot participate in anything that has to do with her successor. Plus, Julie's resignation is effective at midnight tonight, so she won't be part of any of that. Ludmilla's resignation is effective the day after our next board meeting. Ludmilla can participate in the selection of Julie's replacement, but then she cannot participate in the selection of her replacement. So that can become a little bit problematic, because if we interview all persons and we have discussions about it, she could technically be involved in that. So we may have to break it up. It's a little more challenging than it was originally anticipated to be. I'll also point out that while we move to trustee areas, the 2 seats that we're appointing are at-large seats, because Ludmilla was appointed to my at-large seat, because now I'm in a trustee area. Julie was elected at-large, so hers is an at-large seat. So they can be appointed from anywhere in the district, but then in November, there'll be an election to fill them by trustee area. So if they were trustee areas, then it'd be a lot cleaner as far as the 2-member participation. So we have to work on some logistics.
I would be inclined to interview all 12. The idea of whittling, so let's say, in essence, it's 2 of us, of the 3, whittling down seems wrong somehow. Unless there was some really objective, clear criteria.
Right.
And I'm not sure we could come up with that easily without interviewing.
That's one of the reasons that the previous subcommittee, which I sat on, decided not to do that.
Yeah, so I think we should interview all 12. it'll be a late night if it's potentially, I think with mine, we had a special meeting. You had a special meeting on a Friday or something like that, but it was during the day, and I don't know if, again, with late notice.
So I don't want to get into process as
yeah.
much as, are you open to having a special meeting to figure this out?
Wait, so we're gonna have a meeting to figure out whether we have a special meeting?
We can't take action on, we cannot, the only thing we can do as a board right now is set a future agenda item. So we can either say we're gonna do all the interviews on this day and do it and figure it out then, but we can't really do much other deciding because we have not been agendized for that. So I just raised all the issues so you know why we might want to agendize something. The Brown Act is a very tricky little beast. So if we wanted to talk about, if you want to do anything other than interview all 12 candidates at one time, then we need to have a board meeting to discuss what our options are, a special board meeting to do that. If you want to do all 12 candidates at the next board meeting, we don't have to do anything. If we want to do all 12 candidates at a special board meeting, I'd like to hear that now so we can set up a special board meeting.
The only reason why we might need a special board meeting is to talk about the oddity of going through 2 appointments potentially on one night. And I think we need to talk about how we're voting. Since I know, well, I only know if my appointment was different and we voted differently this last time, and is there a better way?
Yeah, those were ad hoc decisions
yes.
made as we went along.
Right,
So if you want to plan that and have that discussion, we should have a special meeting.
I think you should have a special meeting. We can wrap this up.
Julie wants to get to dinner.
Julie's done. All right.
So
can we have a special meeting soon so that
Yes.
so that maybe then can we agendize the interviews in 2 weeks for the next board meeting, and then just have a special meeting before then to hash out details?
yes, we can.
Okay.
And what we would do is if that is the consensus, then John and I will work on scheduling a special meeting, and Kim will coordinate with all 3 of us to make sure we're available.
And this one is to discuss what you're going,
Yeah.
the criteria, okay.
Well, I would make a motion to.
You don't need a motion, I just need
okay.
consensus. If that's what you guys want to do, I just didn't want to make a decision without asking if you guys wanted to do that. Or gals. You okay with that?
So we will interview all 12.
No, we're going to have a meeting to talk about what process we're going to use.
Oh, we're going to
and
have a
decide.
special meeting to
Yeah,
decide
'cause
that.
we can't really talk
Okay.
about,
Can we? Okay.
you can all tell John what you want to
Well-
do, but don't tell me.
I think out of respect for the applicants, can we tell them tonight that we will be interviewing them on is it the 23rd? I don't even know what the math is, plus 14, whatever
We can
tonight
say,
is, 23rd.
we can say that it's our intent to do that,
yeah.
and at the special meeting, we may make a change.
Sure.
So-
Can we communicate the intent to interview on the
Yes.
23rd? And then we'll work through some details.
Yeah, we'll make sure
Okay.
that before they come for interviews, they know what to expect,
Okay.
okay? I think I know enough to know what John and I need to do. All right. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I know. We're gonna give that one to Julie and Heidi. All in favor, signify by saying aye all at once. Aye. All right. All right, thank you for suffering through that with us.
Julie wants a team.
Yes, we're gonna take a group picture.